You ever wonder why, no matter how hard you try, you keep circling back to the same place? Waking up tired, scrolling mindlessly, drowning in your own excuses, whispering promises to yourself you never keep. You tell yourself tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow is just today on repeat. And deep down, you know it's not the world holding you back. It's something inside your head that drags you back every time you dare to dream bigger. There's a voice in there that sounds like you, but it's not you. It's every fear you never faced, every lie you believed as a kid, every limit you never questioned. It's the hidden hand that keeps you small while convincing you you're doing your best. And if you don't see it for what it is, you'll keep living the same year over and over. Different calendar, same regrets. But what if you could catch it in the act? What if you could reach in, rip out the old script, and write a new one? One where your mind works for you, not against you. This is not a story about motivation that fades tomorrow morning. This is about flipping the switch before it flips you. Because the truth is, if you don't master your mind, it will master you, and it already has. Look around at your life right now, at the things you're proud of, but more importantly, at the things that make you restless at night. The half-finished plans, the forgotten dreams, the potential you feel burning under your skin but never quite grab hold of. Be honest with yourself for once. You're not here because you're lazy or because you're incapable. You're here because deep down you feel stuck in a loop you can't name. You read the books, you watch the videos, you highlight the quotes, but your days still feel like recycled versions of yesterday. You want to wake up earlier, you want to stop procrastinating, you want to stop second-guessing every step you take. And yet, you're still hitting snooze. You're still scrolling through everyone else's highlight reel while yours gathers dust in the back of your mind. You're still carrying silent frustration that no one sees because on the outside you look fine. But fine isn't freedom, and you know it. The truth is, you've got this storm inside. Ideas, ambitions, plans for who you could be if only you could just get out of your own way. You tell yourself you need more motivation, more time, more clarity. But those are just excuses your mind feeds you to keep you where you are. Safe, predictable, numb. You think you're running your life, but your life is running you on scripts you didn't even write. And the more you try to break out with willpower alone, the harder the walls push back because the fight isn't out there. It's inside you. That's the real problem most people never face head-on. It's not that you don't know what you want. It's that something deeper keeps pulling you back every time you try to step forward. And until you see it for what it is, you will keep mistaking effort for progress, busyness for growth, and comfort for safety. It's why your big goals always feel just out of reach, why your confidence comes and goes like a bad signal, why you sabotage yourself right when things start getting good. It's not you, it's your programming. And if you do confront it, your mind will keep feeding you the same story. Stay small, play it safe, don't rock the boat. But tell me, are you really okay living like that for the rest of your life? Or are you ready to finally see the real cage you're trapped in and break it open from the inside out? Because that's the only way forward. And it starts right here, right now, by daring to admit the prison was never outside. It was always in your head. You've heard it before, your mind is powerful. But no one really tells you how or why it turns against you. It's not some villain out to ruin your life on purpose. It's a survival machine doing exactly what it was trained to do. Protect you from pain, discomfort, rejection, and the unknown. From the moment you were born, your subconscious mind was wide open, soaking up every word, every reaction, every warning, every look of disapproval. Before you even knew how to spell your own name, you were already absorbing lessons about who you were allowed to be and what you were allowed to want. Maybe someone told you you weren't good enough, sometimes with words, sometimes with silence. Maybe you failed once, and embarrassment cut so deep your brain filed that moment away as a warning sign. Never try that again. Maybe you grew up hearing money is hard to make, people can't be trusted, dreams are for other people. Little by little, your brain started wiring itself to keep you safe inside those lines. And every time you tried to step out of them, it pulled you right back. This is not woo-woo. This is science. It's your reticular activating system, that mental gatekeeper that decides what you notice and what you ignore. If your mind believes you're not worthy of success, it will filter the world to prove you right. You'll see obstacles where other people see chances. You'll remember your failures, not your wins. You'll hesitate when you should leap. And you'll call it fate. But it's not fate, it's programming. Those thoughts that pop up when you stand at the edge of something new. Who do you think you are? What if you fail? You're not ready. Those voices feel like you, but they're just echoes of old fears you never challenged. You think you're making choices freely, but your mind made them seconds before you felt decisive. This is why change feels so hard. You try to overpower your past with pure willpower, but your subconscious is stronger than any morning pep talk. It's why people snap back to old habits as soon as motivation wears off. It's why you sabotage the relationship that's finally healthy. It's why you stay quiet when you promised yourself you speak up. Until you see the hidden code running the show, you're not fighting bad luck. You're fighting an old story you didn't even write. The good news? A script can be rewritten. A mind can be rewired. But not if you keep pretending you're fine, hoping a new calendar or a new playlist will fix a lifetime of invisible chains. You want real freedom. Stop blaming the outside. Look inside, see the roots, and prepare to rip them out, one belief at a time. Because once you do, the walls don't stand a chance. So how do you actually break it? How do you stop being a prisoner of old thoughts that feel so normal you barely notice them? You don't fight your mind with motivation alone. You rewire it with action, with repetition, with small daily rebellions against who you used to be. This isn't about sitting cross-legged chanting empty affirmations you don't believe. It's about giving your brain new evidence so solid it has no choice but to change. Your mind believes what it sees on repeat, what it feels in your bones, what you back up with action when it would be easier to slip back to the old pattern. First, awareness. You can't change a script you don't see. Every day you have to catch yourself in the act. Notice when your brain tries to sell you the same excuses, the same fear story, the same "I'm not ready" line you've rehearsed for years. Interrupt it. Call it out. Write it down if you have to. This is just an old line, not the truth. The second step is exposure. Flood your mind with the reality you want to normalize. Read the books, yes, but more importantly, live the sentences. Hang out with people who see possibility where others see limits. Listen to voices that remind you who you want to become, not who you've always been. Then comes the part most people skip: repetition plus emotion. You can repeat empty phrases 1,000 times and nothing sticks if you don't feel it. But the moment you anchor a new belief to a surge of real emotion, a small win, a risk you actually take, a promise you keep to yourself, that's when your brain wakes up. It starts to lay down new neural pathways, new connections that say, hey, this is who we are now. And it doesn't happen overnight. You can't undo decades of mental autopilot with one Sunday of feeling inspired. You rebuild trust with yourself like you would rebuild it with someone who broke your heart, one small act of proof at a time. Maybe today it's getting out of bed when you say you will. Maybe tomorrow it's speaking up when you'd normally swallow your voice. Maybe it's writing the idea down instead of letting it drift away. Maybe it's finally sending the message that scares you. The moment you act against the old pattern, you weaken it. You tell your mind, this is the new normal. And the more you do it, the more your subconscious adjusts. That's neuroplasticity in action, the science behind every comeback story you admire. It's simple, but it isn't easy. Your mind will fight back at first. It'll try to lure you back to comfort, to old distractions, to the safe walls of procrastination and overthinking. That's your signal you're on the right track. Discomfort is proof your brain is being forced to learn a new language. Most people feel it and retreat. You'll feel it and push. If you want your mind to obey you, you have to show it who's boss, again and again until your new beliefs run deeper than the old ones. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's about acting when you feel terrified. Because every time you do, you're not just building confidence. You're building new code for your mind to follow. And one day you'll wake up and realize the war is over because you won. Picture this. Picture your mind as a wild horse, born to run but never taught where to go. Left alone, it bolts at shadows, circles the same worn path, or stands frozen in the middle of the field, powerful but useless, restless but going nowhere. Now picture yourself stepping up to that horse, putting your hand on its neck, feeling its heartbeat match yours. You don't break it with force. You train it with trust, patience, and daily proof that you're in control now. That's how mastering your mind works. You don't bully it into silence. You show it a better way and you repeat it until it sticks. Think about the last time you hesitated on something that could have changed your life. Asking for what you deserve, starting that project, ending what's been killing you quietly for years. That was your mind pulling the reins back. Not because it hates you, but because it didn't know better. Now imagine the same moment, but this time you don't freeze. You lean forward, you say what needs to be said, you take the first awkward step and nothing explodes. The sky doesn't fall. Your world doesn't collapse. Instead, your mind learns. It learns that the danger it's been guarding you from was just an illusion, a ghost made of old warnings and borrowed fears. Here's a clearer picture. Your mind is like a GPS programmed decades ago by people who didn't know where you'd want to go. They loaded it with old maps. Be careful, don't risk too much. Stay small, stay liked, stay quiet. And every time you try to drive somewhere new, launch the business, speak up in the meeting, reinvent who you are, your GPS reroutes you back to the familiar street. the same job you hate, the same excuses at midnight, the same quiet resentment when you see others moving ahead while you stay parked at the curb. But when you force your mind to take a new turn, tiny at first, it panics. It will shout, recalculating, recalculating. It will push doubt into your stomach. It will tell you to turn back. But every time you stay on that new road a little longer, your GPS starts rewriting the route. You're teaching it that unfamiliar doesn't mean unsafe. You're proving to yourself that discomfort is the ticket to every place worth arriving at. Think of any person you admire, someone who broke through the odds. They weren't braver than you. They weren't born with superhuman genes. They just refused to turn back when their mind screamed at them to stop. They built the muscle of taking action while afraid. And over time, their mind learned to follow instead of lead. That's why success never feels magical from the inside. It feels like 1,000 tiny moments of I don't feel ready, but I'm doing it anyway. So next time your mind tries to drag you back to the old neighborhood of doubt and excuses, remind yourself. You're the rider now. You're the one with the hands on the reins. And this wild horse can take you anywhere, if you show it where to run, one brave step at a time. Listen, this won't work if it stays here, trapped as another good idea in your head, blending in with all the other promises you've whispered to yourself and broken by next week. This isn't the kind of message you keep for later, because later is a lie your mind loves to tell. Later keeps you safe, but stuck. Later is the reason you're still wondering what your life could be instead of living it. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Nothing changes unless you do. Not your job, not your relationships, not your income, not your self-worth, nothing. The moment you stop nodding along and start moving, that's when the rewiring begins. So I want you to pick one thing, not 20. Not a to-do list that overwhelms you into doing nothing. Just one move you can make before your head hits the pillow tonight. Maybe it's closing that tab and opening the draft you abandoned months ago. Maybe it's texting the person you've been avoiding. Maybe it's setting an alarm to wake up an hour earlier tomorrow and actually getting up when it rings. Maybe it's deleting that app that steals your focus, your drive, your hours. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be real. Because every tiny act of doing breaks the old chain a little more. Don't think you have to feel ready. You won't. Readiness is the biggest trap your mind sets to keep you tame. If you wait for confidence, you'll wait forever. You don't get confidence first. You earn it by doing the thing scared, doing it messy, doing it while your voice shakes and your doubts scream at you to back down. Action is the evidence your mind needs, one tiny proof at a time. So promise yourself this, tonight is the line, no more mental notes you'll forget by morning. No more inspiration with no action to hold it. I want you to say it out loud. I will not leave this moment empty. This time you don't just listen, you move. This time you don't just want it, you do something about it. And when tomorrow comes and your mind tries to pull you back, remind yourself you're not that old version anymore. You took one step, now you take the next. You act before you overthink. You prove to your mind who's really in charge now. You've got one life, one mind, make it obey you, train it, test it. Push it so hard it has no choice but to level up with you. Because the next version of you is watching this version. It's begging you, Don't quit on me. Don't bury me under another excuse. Stand up, do the uncomfortable thing, take the first swing at the walls you built for yourself, and do it today. There will come a day, maybe sooner than you think, when you'll wake up and the weight you've been dragging behind your eyes for years just won't be there anymore. You'll pour your coffee, look in the mirror, and for a split second you won't recognize the person staring back because they stand taller. Their eyes don't dart away, and there's a quiet certainty in their chest that no storm can drown out. That version of you is real. It's already alive in the small, hidden parts you keep telling yourself you'll unleash when you're ready. It's been waiting for you to remember who you really are without the old chains and excuses and walls you didn't even build but kept maintaining all these years. That future you wants you to know they're not some distant dream. They're not the highlight reel version you scroll past and envy. They're built from the choices you make when no one's watching, when you say no to old patterns, when you stay in the discomfort long enough for it to feel like freedom, when you stand still in front of fear and say, I'm doing it anyway. They're not the hero at the end of the